In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful.
When I reflect on the miraculous creation of Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, I can't help but be drawn to the beautiful balance with which the Qur'an speaks about the gift of life. On one hand, the Qur'an echoes the ease with which God grants life to whomever He pleases. And so this applies to every single human being. God says, مِن نُطْفَةٍ فَإِذَا هُوَ خَصِيمٌ مُبِينٌ. Out of just a drop of liquid, all of a sudden you have a walking, talking, arguing human being. And any of us who have witnessed, the spectacle of childbirth, they are blown away if they are at least minimally thoughtful that how in the world did this one living being, the mother, become two? Like, when exactly did this happen and how did this happen? And you're just faced with this glaring reality that this is not our doing, that this is the hand of someone far greater than us at work here. Interestingly, right before the story of the miraculous birth of Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, God speaks about the story of Zechariah, who was a man who was the father at an age when he could not be the father. And still, despite the presumed infertility, God grants Zechariah and his wife the ability to come together and have a child, John the Baptist, peace and blessings be upon him. And just as you're rebounding from how is that possible, people in the fragile, decrepit old age can still produce a child, you're recovering from this, and then you're met with something even more amazing, which is the miraculous birth of Jesus himself. On the other hand, alongside the extra special way with which Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, was granted life by God, the Qur'an calibrates you and balances you with reminding you that though this is even more amazing than the human being coming to life from parents that ordinarily cannot produce offspring, he reminds you, but this should not be exaggerated to the point where it is presumed that this child, born of a miraculous birth, is God himself. And the Qur'an tells us, remember, that would essentially mean that Adam, peace be upon him, the very first human being who was from dust and not even a drop of liquid, would have to be a greater God by that line of logic. إِنَّ مَثَلَ عِيسَى عِنْدَ اللَّهِ كَمَثَلِ آدَمَ خَلَقَهُ مِنْ تُرَابٍ ثُمَّ قَالَ لَهُ كُنْ فَيَكُونَ. The likeness of Jesus with God is like the likeness of Adam, whom he created from dust, and he said to him, be, and he was. And it was not just another analogy that the Qur'an was striking for us to make sure we don't fall into this misunderstanding about the miraculous birth. The Qur'an told us of another miracle of Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, in the cradle, that does not exist in other traditions, interestingly, that the very first words the Prophet of God, the great Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, and the Messiah, said to people when returned by his mother, carried by his mother to the Israelites, was, I am not God. He said, I am the servant of God. He spoke in the cradle. He said, Inni abdullah, I am the servant of God. He granted me the book and made me a prophet and entrusted me with prayer and fasting for as long as I live, and made me dutiful to my mother, and did not make me out to be a tyrannical or a tyrant rebel.